Locked On Texans, your daily Houston Texans podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this quick hit edition of Locked On Texans, your daily podcast covering your favorite football team in the Houston Texans every single day here on the Locked On Podcast Network. Now, ladies and gentlemen, look, I'm pretty sure you guys know by now, but if you don't know, that means you did not have an opportunity to catch the full episode of Locked On Texans today. Please make sure you
stop what you're doing. Go do it.
yes, stop what you're doing and go listen to that first. But in this quick hit edition, look, everyone knows that Tyrod Taylor will be out for at least a month. We are expecting Davis Mills to take over as the starting quarterback. But what is one of the things that I've been saying, John Hickman, some sports guy, what is one thing he has been saying? Like, this team is going to be competitive, and we do not expect this organization to tank. But John, listeners, when I take a look at the Houston Texans in 2021, I do believe that they should go out and consider bringing in a quarterback. And of course, the number one quarterback on everybody's list is Cam Newton. Now, I hinted at this on Monday's installment of Locked On Texans, but I wanted to bring this up because not only would Cam Newton be a great fit due to his talent, because when you exclude Deshaun Watson from the list, Cam Newton is going to be the best quarterback that the Texans have in their quarterback room. But
when I take a look at Deshaun Watson from the list,
you got to, man.
It's not like we're excluding him. Like, he can actually play if he wanted to.
He just don't want to.
Gosh.
Texans don't want him to. It's just an ugly situation. But you know, the reason why I think Cam Newton would be the best fit for this organization is because it doesn't matter. When we have an opportunity to talk to Marcus Cannon, when we have an opportunity to talk to Rex Burkhead, when we have the opportunity to talk to Danny Amendola, they always talk about the system that the Texans have is similar to the New England Patriots. And they always talk about how easy it was to get accustomed to the Texans' style of play because they came from the New England Patriots. And say what you want, and Cal McNair can shoot this down as much as possible, but the Houston Texans are the Patriot of the South. And because the Texans have so many former Patriots, and it seems like they're using, the playbooks from the Patriots and all that other good stuff, Cam Newton can come in and actually be a great fit for the system that the Texans are using both on and off the field.
Here's my thoughts about Cam Newton coming to Houston. When you look at whether or not you are going to roll out with Tyrod Taylor for the rest of the year whenever he comes back. If that answer is not a definitive no, yes, we're going to ride with him, then go ahead and make the call. Bring him in for a workout. If your answer to the question of whether or not we're going to roll with Davis Mills, if Tyrod Taylor is able to play or not, like if he's on the field, we got Mills. If your answer is not a definitive yes, you call Tyrod Taylor. I'm not sorry. You don't call Cam Newton, but you call other backups around the league. You may want to look at what's your boy named Trace McSorley for the Baltimore Ravens. You may want to look at Brett Hundley, who spent time with the Green Bay Packers. You may want to look at Nick Mullins, who won a couple of games for the 49ers a couple of years ago. You may want to look at Matt Barkley, who's been in the league for some time now and just knows how the league operates. Like, you have to look around the league for backups if you're going to roll with Mills. We know you're going to have to roll with him for the next 4 games unless Houston decides to move on from him. After that, they're going to make their mind up whenever Tyrod is revalued. I'm sorry, not revalued. Whenever he's revalued and whether or not his playing status is clear or not. But for the next 4 games, if you are not going to continue rocking with Tyrod, you're going to call Cam. If you're going to rock with Davis Mills for the next 4 to 5 games, you got to make the calls to some of these other quarterbacks around the league. Hit their agents up and see what's going on. Now, if you do think Cam Newton is the quarterback that you would bring in, you got to do that right away. Okay. You got to make that call today, tomorrow. Like, hey, listen, I know you know our situation down here in Houston. It's a little ugly. It ain't all perfect. But Cam, prior to COVID last year, you were doing very good in New England with a team similarly built. We also got a better receiving core for you as well, Cam. You can do wonders for our run game. We also have a good offensive line down here. Cam, overall, you need a job. You got fired on your day off. So come on down to Houston. It really depends on what Houston values the most out of a healthy Tyrod Taylor coming back or a rookie quarterback in Davis Mills. It really comes down to what Houston's goal is for the season. Now, the conversation Cody and I had, listeners, last week was, if they win against Cleveland, does that change the trajectory of the season goal for them? If they don't win against Cleveland, it depends on how they win or how they don't win, however you want to look at it, right? And I think for Houston, if your goal is to really compete, you bring in competitors. If your goal, and what was it? What did Nick Caserio say? It's more so about, what was it, not the process, but about evaluation or something like that along those lines. I can't remember exactly. But if your goal this year is to completely just evaluate what's on this roster, you go ahead. Hey, Davis Mills, you're going to be our quarterback for the next 4 to 5 games. We're going to call in a backup because we can't have Jeff Driscoll taking any snaps at any point throughout this season. Because even whenever he plays, it's not going to be an evaluation. You already know what's going to happen. And then, boom, you bring in one of those backup quarterbacks to be a placeholder behind Davis Mills just in case something happens. That's my thoughts about the whole idea surrounding Cam Newton, Tyrod Taylor, Davis Mills in the quarterback position for the Houston Texans right now.
John, and I will 100% agree with you. I think at the end of the day, regardless if it's Cam Newton or you just ride it out the rest of the season with Davis Mills and Jeff Driscoll, depending on Tyrod Taylor's health moving forward, I think it all depends on whether or not this team wants to win. And I'm hoping that this team isn't a team that's tanking, only due to the fact, when healthy, for those 6 quarters, when you had everybody on the field, this team looked good, and this team looked like a team that was not only going to compete, but actually succeed the low expectation that everybody had.
In 2018, Nick Mullins started 8 games, went 3-5 for the 49ers, threw for a little bit over 2,200 yards, 13 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, and did not have a touchdown on the ground. Also in 2020, started 8 games for the 49ers, went 2-6, threw for a little bit over 2,400 yards, 12 interceptions, 12 TDs.
But ladies and gentlemen, that's going to conclude this quick hit installment of Locked On Texans. Please be sure to follow us on Twitter at Cody Davis _24 and some sports guy with 2 Y's at the end. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, peace.